20 minutes in length. And what I want you to do as you're watching these clips is I really want you to focus on, in the first clip, I want you to focus on the actor is Henry Fonda. And he is the person who is the lone dissenter from everybody else. So we sort of begin to see this minority position developing. What I want you to focus on is what kind of strategies does he use to influence the larger group, okay? Because he has one benefit at the start. And in jury decision making, it must be consensus. Okay, it's either got to be 0-12 or 12-0. Okay? So that gives the minority, that particular structure gives the minority a voice. If it were simply majority rule, this would be a very short film. 11-1, we're done. Okay? But because of the structure, this notion of consensus, you'll see that Henry Fonda, in this case, has the opportunity to be able to create and invoke some influence strategies. So I want you to sort of just watch and observe, write down things that really affect how people believe the situation as it unfolds. Okay? So let me help you out a little bit. This is the case of the 12 Angry Men. This is the person that I want you to take the perspective of, Henry Fonda. And you may want to keep this page of your handout open because the first page, yeah. And primarily because what that does is nobody is ever given a name, but they're just identified by these role titles like bank teller or foreman. But this is the composition around the table, so you'll be able to begin to figure out who they are. Okay? So why don't we start the film? Let's see.
What's a man for slums?
The slum is a bad part of town.
Well, what's a man for slums?
A person who grew up in a bad part of town. From? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I got say, we'd like to get started. Oh, forgive me, gentlemen. I didn't mean to keep you waiting. Oh. Okay, gentlemen, if I can have your attention. You fellas can handle this thing any way that you want to. I'm not going to make any rules. We can, discuss it first and then vote on it. That's, of course, that's one way. And, we can vote on it right now. And I think it's customary to take preliminary votes. Yeah, let's vote. Well, then we all get out of here, huh? Okay, then I think that, of course, you know that we have a first-degree murder charge here, and if we vote the accused guilty, we've got to send him to the chair. That's mandatory. I think we know that. Yeah, let's see who's where. Okay, anyone doesn't want to vote? Okay, then just remember that this has to be 12-0 either way. That's the law. Okay, are we ready? All those voting guilty, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. What's voting not guilty? 1. 11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Well, now we know where we are. Oh boy, there's always one. Oh, what are we doing now? I guess we talk. Boy, oh boy. You really think he's innocent? I don't know.
I mean, you sat in court with the rest of us. You heard what we did. The kid's a dangerous killer. You could see it.
He's 18 years old.
Well, that's old enough. He stabbed his own father 4 inches into the chest. They proved it a dozen different ways in court. Would you like me to list them for you?
No. Then what do you want?
Just want to talk.
Well, what's there to talk about? 11 men in here think he's guilty. No, they're thinking about it
bodies except you. I want to ask you something. Do you believe his story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
So how come you vote not guilty?
Well, there were 11 votes for guilty. It's not easy to raise my hand and send a boy off to die without talking about it first.
Well, now, who says it's easy?
No one.
Well, just because I voted fast? I honestly think the guy's guilty. Couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I'm not trying to change your mind. It's just that we're talking about somebody's life here. We can't decide in 5 minutes. Supposing we're wrong.
Supposing we're wrong. Supposing this whole building should fall down on my head. You can suppose anything.
That's right.
So what's the difference how long it takes? Suppose we do it in 5 minutes, so what?
Let's take an hour. Logging doesn't start till 8 o'clock. Who's got something to say?
I'm willing to sit for an hour.
Great. I heard a pretty good story last night. I did not bother us.
All right, then you tell me. What are we sitting here for?
I don't know, maybe no reason. Look, this kid's been kicked around all of his life. You know, born in a slum, mother dead since he was 9. He lived for a year and a half in an orphanage when his father was serving a jail term for forgery. It's not a very happy beginning. He's a wild, angry kid. That's all he's ever been. And you know why? Because he's been hit on the head by somebody once a day, every day. He's had a pretty miserable 18 years. I just think we owe him a few words, that's all.
I don't mind telling you this, mister. We don't owe him a thing. He got a fair trial, didn't he? What do you think that trial cost? He's lucky he got it. Know what I mean? Now look, we're all grown-ups in here. We heard the facts, didn't we? You're not going to tell me that we're supposed to believe this kid, knowing what he is? Listen, I've lived among them all my life. You can't believe a word they say. You know that. I mean, they're born liars.
Only an ignorant man can believe that.
Now,
Do
listen.
you think you were born with a monopoly on the truth? I think certain things should be pointed out to this man.
Come on, this isn't Sunday. We're going to get started.
Come on, we have a job to do now. Let's do it.
Yes, boss. It's a product I work on at the agency. Breakfast with a building boss. I wrote that man.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Say, do you mind?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just have a duty to keep thinking clear.
Yeah, we have all this work to do. There's no point staying here forever. Okay. Now, perhaps if the gentleman down there is disagreeing with us, perhaps you can tell us why. You know, let us know what you're thinking, and we might be able to show you where you're mixed up.
Well, look, maybe this is an idea. I haven't given it much thought, but it seems to me that it's up to the group of us to convince this gentleman that he's wrong and we're right. Now, maybe if we each took a couple of minutes just to... Well, it was just a quick idea.
No. That's a good one. Suppose we go once around the table. I guess you're first.
Well, it's hard to put into words. I just think he's guilty. I thought it was obvious from the word go. I mean, nobody proved otherwise.
Nobody has to prove otherwise. The burden of proof's on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't even have to open his mouth. That's in the Constitution.
Oh, well, sure, I know that. What I meant was, well, I just think he's guilty. I mean, somebody saw him do it.
Okay, here's what I think, and I have no personal feelings about this. I just want to talk about facts. Number one, the old man lived downstairs under the room where the killing took place. At 10 minutes after 12 on the night of the killing, he heard loud noises. Said it sounded like a fight. And he heard the kid yell out, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard a body hit the floor. Ran to the door, opened it up, saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. Called the police. They came in, found the old man with a knife in his chest. The coroner fixed the time of death around midnight. Now, these are facts. You can't refute facts. The kid is guilty. I'm just as sentimental as the next fella. I know he's only 18, but he's still got to pay for what he did.
I'm with you. Okay, you finished?
Yeah.
Next. It is obvious, to me anyway, that the boy's entire story was flimsy. He claimed he was at the movies during the time of the killing, and yet 1 hour later, he couldn't remember the names of the films he saw or who played in them.
That's right.
And only saw him going in or out of the theater.
Listen, what about the woman across the street? If her testimony don't prove it, nothing does.
That's right. She was the one who actually saw the film.
Now, fellas, please.